Hello, how are you? I'm a little tired. Sit down, please. I'd like to speak English today too, to improve my speaking skill. Let's get it started. Today, it is February 27th, 2023. It's on Monday and sunny outside. How are you spending Monday? I think many workers and students don't like Monday because it is mostly the first day of the week and the rest 4 days are waiting for us. We have to go to 4 days more after Monday. So I think many people don't like Monday. But it depends on the working shift or school shift. It depends on the schedule, how we feel, I think. A cup of coffee. Do you drink a cup of coffee? How many cups of coffee do you drink a day? How many cups of coffee do you drink a day? Do you prefer coffee to tea? Would you prefer coffee to tea? Or would you prefer tea to coffee? How many cups of coffee do you drink a day per day? Do you prefer cafe au lait to black coffee? I usually drink black coffee, but sometimes I drink cafe latte for a change. The amount of expenses might increase in proportion to increase in our payment. Our payment should be increased in proportion to our effort. I want my payment to be increased in proportion to my effort. I want the number of plays in my videos to increase in proportion to my effort. Finished. Large proportion of the benefits were got by the executives. Large proportion of the benefits are taken over by the company. Large proportion of the pizza were eaten by the animal. Large proportion of the university is composed of male students. Large proportion of the university consists of male students. A large proportion of the diet house is made of men. The large proportion of the diet house, the large proportion of the population of the diet house composed of men. Our knowledge will be stacked up in proportion to the hours we study. The amount of our knowledge will increase in proportion to the length of the study. I remember taking a balance at the seesaw game at the elementary school. I remember taking a balance at the seesaw set up in the ground of the elementary school. I remember taking a balance at the seesaw in the ground of elementary school. Have you ever played with a seesaw? Have you ever played with seesaw? Sure. Seesaw was one of my favorite playing tools. We usually try to proportion our income to the living style. We usually proportion our income to the rent. We usually proportion the amount of the rent to our income. We usually make ends meet with the payment income. I used to make ends meet with subtle breakfast, lunch to save money. I used to make ends meet with poor diet when I was a university student in order to save money. We are up to try to proportion our living to our income. We usually proportion the rent of the apartment to our income. We usually proportion the amount of the rent of the apartment to our income. All of the classes in the school are proportioned regarding academic accomplishments, physical education level, and so on. Every class is divided into fairly, taking everything into account regarding sports meeting, academic accomplishments, friends, and so on. All classes are proportioned regarding everything, sports level, academic level, and so on, taking balance. Every class is taking balance. Please take the medicine every after breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Don't forget, please. The doctor told me that I should take the medicine every after breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The doctor told me that I should take the medicine every after breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The doctor told me that I take the medicine every after breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It is advisable that you should take the medicine as you were told. by your doctor. Hmm. I was obliged to proportion my working shift by taking a day off because the hours that we can work in a month is limited. In order to meet the demand, in order to meet the law, I had to take a day off from work in order to proportion my working shift, working hours. In order to proportion my working hours and to meet the law, working law, I had to take a day off from work because there is a limitation of the hours we can work in a week or in a month. We cannot work beyond the hours usually, basically. Mm. I remember proportioning the weight by sitting on both sides of the seesaw. I remember enjoying sitting on the seesaw and proportioning the weight. I remember playing with the seesaw and proportioning the weight by sitting on both sides, either side, each side. Mm. We also put a big stone on the other side of the seesaw to proportion the weight. I enjoyed putting a big stone on the other side of the seesaw to proportion the weight. It was very fun. I remember putting a big stone as weight as my weight on the other side of the seesaw to proportion the weight. I remember putting a large stone as weight as me on the other side of the seesaw to proportion. Hmm. Do you know the proportional representation system? Proportional representation system. Proportional representation system will work in favor of those famous. Proportional representation system will work in favor of celebrities well known in the country, region, and so on. Proportional allocate, proportional research approach, proportional activity, proportional payment system, proportional effort, proportional payment system, proportional income tax, proportional income tax, proportional income tax. If the proportional income tax is higher, the people might go out of the country. Proportional representation system. 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 Do you know proportional representation system? Proportional. Proportional payment system. Proportional tax system. Proportional income tax system. Proportional. Proportional taxation. Proportional taxation. Proportional taxation. Fixed taxation. Proportional taxation. Proportional taxation. Proportional income tax. Proportional income tax. Proportional representation system. Celebrities will be favorable in proportional representation system because we can vote either the political party or the person. If we know the celebrity, many of us might vote for the celebrity. If the candidate is not known, few of us will vote for them. So celebrities will be advantage in the proportional representation system. 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 Proportional taxation. Proportional representation system. Proportional representation system. Proportional taxation. Proportional representation system. Proportional taxation. Proportional taxation. Proportional taxation. Proportional taxation. Proportional taxation. Proportionate allotment. Proportionate allocate. Proportional income tax. Proportionate approach. Proportionate data. Proportionate statistics. Proportionate phenomenon. The more we get income, the more we tend to expand, which is proportionate tendency. The more we get income, the more we tend to spend, which is proportionate. The more we get income, the more we will spend. Proportionate system, proportionate tendency. Proportionate. Proportionate income tax. Proportionate income tax. Proportionate income tax. Proportionate taxation. Proportionate taxation. Proportionate allocate. Proportionate allotment. Proportionate payment system. Proportionate payment system. Proportionate tendency, proportionate approach, proportionate commission, proportionate payment system, proportionate taxation, proportionate taxation, proportionate income tax is adopted in the country. Proportionate income increase is adopted in the company. Proportionate income tax. Proportionate. Proportionate income tax. Proportionate income tax. Proportionate charts. Proportionate income tax. Proportionate charts. Proportionate statistics. The more we study, the more knowledge we can get, which is proportionate. Many things are proportionate. The more we study, the more knowledge we can get, which is one of the proportionate systems. What he said was not consistent with what he did. What he declared was not consistent with what he actually did. To our surprise, the clothes we were wearing were consistent with each other's. To my surprise, my flight was consistent with that of the Prime Minister. To my surprise, my flight was consistent with my friends. To my surprise, my flight was consistent with that of my friends. Usually my interests are not consistent with those of others. Usually my interests are not consistent with those from others. Unfortunately, the event was consistent with my working day. Unfortunately, the event I was looking forward to was consistent with my working day. Consistent with my working day. The fingerprints left on the table were consistent with the criminals. The fingerprints left on the table were consistent with the criminals. What you said is not consistent with what you did. Do you notice it? Did you notice it? What you did is not consistent with what you did. Did you notice it? Unfortunately, the event was consistent with my working day. Unfortunately, my working day was consistent with the event I was looking forward to. I will never change my mind. I think not many people can continue doing consistently. I think not many people keep going until they achieve their goals consistently. I think, I bet, I presume, I predict, I suppose that not many people can keep going until they achieve goals. I bet that not many people can keep going consistently until they achieve their goals. Consistently, 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 consistently. I study English every day consistently. I stand up for my policies consistently, consistently. I stand up for my policies consistently. The machines can keep going consistently unless we stop it. The machines can beat mochi. The machines can keep beating the mochi consistently without stopping, without getting tired like humans. I will stick with my decision. I will stick to my decisions, adhere to my decisions consistently. I will stand up for my decisions consistently. I've made up my mind to keep going consistently. I think many people make a resolution to keep going consistently, but some of them or most of them will give up in the middle of the year, I think. Many people make a declaration to achieve something great and keep going consistently, but many of us will give up soon. Can you keep going consistently? No matter who criticizes you, can you keep going consistently? No matter who criticizes you, No matter who prevents you from pursuing your dreams, can you go? Can you keep going consistently? Can you keep pursuing your dreams consistently? In those days, we were planning to go with the original plan consistently, but the common senses are changing recently, so we have to change to some extent to the plan to be flexibility, to be flexible. Being consistently will make us reliant, reliance. Being consistent will give us reliance. On the other hand, telling lies will make us lose reliance. Being doing something consistently will make us will give us trust. Being consistent will make us have trust, will give us trust. I haven't changed my mind consistently since when I was 14 or 12 years old. I haven't changed my mind consistently. I haven't changed my mind consistently since when I was 12 years old. I still have the same way. I will let you go out as long as you come back by 5 o'clock p.m. As long as you have finished your homework by noon, I will let you go out. I will let you go out. As far as computer is concerned, my friend can type the keyboard fastest in the world, I think. As far as beautiful beaches are concerned, I highly recommend you go to Okinawa. There are many beautiful beaches in Okinawa. As far as snow is concerned, Hokuriku area has much snow in winter. I had watched the movie 3 times before I watched it at the movie, so I could understand the Rhine weather better. And since I had been to the country once before I went there with my friends, so I could guide my friends around. The train had already gone when I arrived there. The train had already gone when I arrived there. By the time I arrived at the train station, the train had already gone. We had been married for more than 20 years when we had the wedding ceremony. The train had already gone when we arrived there. I had been studying until I was stopped. I had been studying until I was stopped. I had been studying until I was stopped. I usually keep doing until I'm stopped. This is my habit. Achieving a breakthrough will consist in the combination of persistency and curiosity. Do you think so? Whether or not we can achieve a breakthrough will consist in the combination of curiosity and persistency, either of which should not be lacked. Both needs to be met. Either of which cannot be lacked. Either of which cannot be lacked. Many Japanese festivals, the root of many Japanese festivals consist in Shinto ritual to pray for good harvest. What do you think is the purpose of the festival consist in? What do you think the purpose of the festival consists in? What do you guess the purpose of the festival consists in? Lies in. What do you think the purpose of my English study consists in? What do you guess the purpose of my English study consists in? What do you guess the purpose of our life consists in? What do you think the purpose of our life consists in? What do you think the purpose of our life consists in? What do you guess, predict, supports, bet, predict the purpose of our life consists in? Whether or not we can continue doing will consist in how deep we love it. Whether or not we can keep going consists in how deeply we love it. The causes of atopic dermatitis consist in many factors. The causes of acting up my atopic dermatitis consist in many factors, such as dust, stress, food, and so on. Many buildings consist of wood, trees, timber, lot. My junior high school consisted of 7 classrooms. My junior high school consists of 7 classrooms. Where I live is relatively warmer versus Hokkaido. Where I live is relatively warm versus Hokkaido. The population of my prefecture is a little smaller versus that of Tokyo. The height of Tokyo Sky Tree is higher versus Tokyo Tower, which was the previous symbol of Tokyo. No, it is still a symbol of Tokyo. I bought that statue of Tokyo Tower before when I visited Tokyo Tower. Have you visited Tokyo Tower? Have you gone to Tokyo Tower? Have you visited Tokyo Tower? Visited. Have you visited Tokyo Tower? Have you visited Tokyo Tower? Visited Tokyo Tower? Yes. I had difficulty in finding the entrance. No. I had difficulty in finding the entrance to go to Tokyo Tower, to climb Tokyo Tower. I had difficulty in finding the entrance to go up to the Tokyo Tower. I had difficulty in finding the entrance to climb the Tokyo Tower. I had trouble in finding the entrance to Tokyo Tower. Apple versus orange. High school A versus high school B. High school A versus high school C. High school A versus high school D. Team A versus Team B. The winter this year is warmer versus the last year. We will get depressed by comparing ourselves to others. We will tend to get depressed by comparing ourselves to others. We tend to get depressed by comparison to others, comparison with others. The efficiency was improved versus the previous model. The new model of the PC was improved regarding in terms of battery efficiency versus the previous model. What are the improved features versus the previous model? What are the improved features of the new model versus the previous model? What are the improved features? What are the improved features of the new model versus the previous ones? Do you like to add a lot of salt in ramen? Salt and pepper. I'm searching for the one salt mixed with pepper. I'm searching for pepper mixed with salt. Excuse me, I'm searching for salt mixed with pepper. Pepper and salt are mixed together. Can I buy it? Where can I find it? Or do you deal in such product, such food, such spice? I'm searching for spice of the combination of salt and pepper. Do you like salty food? Do you like salty food? Do you like salty food? And some people like to add a lot of salt into food to make it saltier. To make it saltier. I sometimes come across very salty chips in the potato chips. I sometimes come across very salty chips in the potato chips. In the pack of potato chips. We sometimes come across very salty pieces of potato chips or other snacks in the pack of snacks. We sometimes come across very salty pieces of snacks in the package. We sometimes come across very salty pieces of snacks in the package. Not following what your doctor said will be motor. Not following the driving rule will be motor. Losing voice as a singer will be motor. Unhealthy lifestyle will be also motor. Motor. I'd like to avoid motor things as my profession. Driving violently will be motor. Driving without seatbelt will be motor. Driving without seatbelt will be motor. Driving without motor will be driving without seatbelt will be motor. 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 Driving without seatbelt might be motor. Unhealthy lifestyle will be motor. Area motor. We should avoid doing things which are motor. We should avoid doing things which are motor. We should avoid doing the things which are motor. We should avoid doing things which are motor. We shouldn't do such things which are motor. We shouldn't do such things. We should do such things. We shouldn't do such things which are motor. As of now, we are motor. Do you know the purpose of the life? Because we are all motor. But with advancement of new technologies, we might be able to live forever. But I don't know now. As of now, we are all mortal. We die someday. Hmm. Driving with a seatbelt will be mortal. We mustn't do such things which are mortal. We mustn't do such things which are mortal. Ignoring the advices by the doctor is is the same way as mortal. Ignoring the advices by the doctor is mortal. Working in the company was the same as mortal for me. I was almost dead, but I could recover after some rest. Some rest. Losing the job was almost like mortal for me. Breaking up with her was almost like mortal for me, but I could recover. Breaking up with her was almost mortal for me, but I could recover after some time. Breaking up with her was almost like mortal. Breaking up with her was almost mortal. Breaking up with her was almost mortal. Breaking up with her was almost like mortal. Mortal path. Mortal path. Don't take the mortal path. Taking roller coasters for some people might be the same as taking the mortal path. But I love roller coasters, so it is not as the same as mortal path. It's attraction for me. And taking roller coasters for some people might be the same path as mortal path. Taking roller coasters in amusement parks might be the same as taking mortal course for some people. Taking roller coasters at amusement park might be the same as taking mortal path. Taking mortal path. Mortal path. Mortal mortar 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 mortar. Taking roller coaster at amusement park for some people might be the same as taking a motor course. Motor path. Motor path. Motor. 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 Ignoring the advices by the doctor will lead you to the mortality. Ignoring the advices by the doctor will lead you to the mortality. We should avoid the things which take us to the mortality. We should avoid the things which might lead us to the mortality. Ignoring the advices by the doctor will take you to the mortality faster. Mortality rate by car accidents. Let's decrease the number of mortality rate by car accidents. Mortality rate. Mortality. Mortality rate by cancer. Mortality rate by disease. Let's make the mortality 0. Mortality by car accident. Mortality by cancer. Mortality. Immorality. Immortality. Mortality. Mortality. 83%. You will pass the examination at 83%. You will pass examination at 83%. You will pass examination at 83%. The percentage of male students in the university is higher than that of women. The percentage of male students of the university is larger than that of female students. Large percentage of the market share is taken over by the company. Large percentage of the market share of the products is taken over virtually by the company. The percentage of those who got more than 900 on TOEIC score is smaller percentage. The percentage of those who got more than 900 on TOEIC score is small in the total. The average comes in around 600. Can I know your unique habit? Do you have a unique habit? I think everyone has a unique habit. Habitual criminal of being late for school. Habitual criminal of being late for school. As we keep doing something, it will be habitual. The best way to feel less stress is to make the duties habitual. You know that one of the ways to feel less stress is to make the duty or what you have to do habitual, and not try to take it as a duty, but take it as a habit, a kind of habit. Habitual activity. Studying is like a habitual activity for me now. Studying English is a habitual activity for me. It is not like a study anymore. It is a kind of almost same as brushing my teeth. Studying English is habitual for me. Studying English is habitual activity for me. Habitual activity, habitual. Habitual activity. Habitual. Yawning during the class might be regarded as rude. Sneezing cannot be helped sometimes. We cannot avoid sneezing. We cannot help sneezing sometimes. We cannot help sneezing. We cannot but sneeze sometimes. We cannot stop it. Do you know how to stop sneezing? Do you know how to stop sneezing? Dizziness, drowsiness, nausea. Those three words confuse me. A lot. Why not make the duty habitual, not a duty? Do not try it. Do not take it as a duty, but habitual or habit. Habitual criminal. Habitual. Once we do something, it can be habitual. Once we do something, it can be habitual. Nobody imagined that we would use smartphones as habitual thing. Nobody imagined that smartphone would be habitual. Can I know your unique habit? Can I know your unique habit? Can I know your unique habit? I think everybody has a unique habit. I think everybody has one or two unique habits. I'm in the habit of studying English. Studying English. I'm in the habit of studying English every day. I'm in the habit of speaking to myself like now. I'm in the habit of studying English every day. I'm in a habit of speaking to myself in English to improve my speaking skill. I'm in the habit of listening to English during my driving. I'm in the habit of listening to English during my drive. And some people are in the habit of singing while taking a shower. Some people are in the habit of singing during taking shower. Some people are in the habit of singing while they are alone in elevator. Some people are in the habit of singing while taking a shower. I'm in the habit of studying English every day. Some people are in the habit of adding a lot of sugar and pepper in ramen. Some people are in the habit of adding a lot of pepper in ramen. I'm in the habit of drinking a cup of coffee after lunch. I'm in the habit of drinking a cup of coffee after breakfast, which is my leisure, recreation, a kind of recreation, a kind of leisure. I'm in the habit of drinking a cup of coffee after breakfast. I'm in the habit of drinking a cup of coffee after breakfast. Are you also in the habit of drinking a cup of coffee after breakfast? What are you anticipating from me? The things won't go as we anticipate. Things often don't 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 go like we anticipate. Who could anticipate Japanese yen to drop? Nobody could have imagined. Nobody could have anticipated Japanese yen to drop. As the economy in the recession, the unemployment rate will increase. As the recession accelerates, the unemployment rate will also increase. As the recession continues, the unemployment rate will also increase. As the recession continues, the unemployment rate will also increase. As the recession continues, the unemployment rate will also increase. Fiscal year is usually divided into 4 quarters. Fiscal year is 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 divided into 4 quarters. The instructor taught us to line in a row when we walk on the walkway, so that we do not bother other passers-by. The leader told us to follow her in a row so that we won't bother other pedestrians. The leader told us to follow her in a row so that we won't bother other pedestrians on the walkway. The champion won the championships twice in a row. Some workers work at different places in a row in a day. The teacher told the students to follow him in line on the walkway so that they wouldn't bother other pedestrians. Many people anticipate more and more jobs will be replaced by AI and robots. At the same time, many people are afraid that many jobs will be stolen. And many people at the same time are worried about unemployment rate. And many people are afraid of increased boosted unemployment rate. The data up to 3/4 is available now. The data up to 3/4 are available now. The 4/4 will be coming soon. A quarter of the pizza. Due to the recession, the company earned a quarter of the benefits of the last year. Due to the recession, the company earned only a quarter of the usual profit. Due to the recession, the company earned a quarter as much as last year. Due to the recession, the company earned a quarter as much as that of last year. Exhausted as I was obliged to work at a different place in a row after finishing my job at the company. So full as I was, I went to another restaurant with my friends in a row. To everyone's surprise, the player won jackpot twice in a row. And to everyone's surprise, the customer won the jackpot twice in a row. It was observed that many companies cut down on the number of employees in the recession during the pandemic. It was observed many companies cut down on employees in order to survive during the recession pandemic. It was observed that some companies cut down on the number of employees during the pandemic. I'm hoping improvement of my skin from now on. I'm hoping the improvement in all industries from now on. I'm hoping for the improvement in all industries from now on. I saw some deer with gadgets around their neck. Maybe the gadgets are used to keep track of them. Some electrical goods, maybe. Some think electrical goods like object were equipped with around the deer neck. Maybe they are used to keep track of them. I saw a gadget-like object around the deer neck. Maybe it is used to keep track of them. The reservation is made on a first-come basis. Payment might be, in some companies, the amount of payment is decided on a length of service basis, on the length of the service basis. In some companies, the amount of payment is decided on the length of the service basis. Payment is often decided on the experience basis. The prices often differ on an hour basis, on a time basis. Prices always differ on a time basis, on an hour basis, on a time basis. Let's cut down on the time spent for useless things. I try to cut down on the time spent for useless things to make the most of my precious time. Take highly of my precious time, to make the most of my precious time. I used to make the best of my income in those days. I try to cut down on the time spent for useless things to make the most of my precious time. So from now on, I will restrict the time spent for my leisure things in order to make my dreams come true. So from now on, I will reduce the time spent for my leisure time. The speeding car was also taken track of from helicopter, from the sky. The speeding car was also taken track of from the sky by helicopter of the police. The speeding car was also taken track of from the sky by the helicopter of the police. The speeding car was also kept track of from the sky of the helicopter. The speeding car was also kept track of from the sky by the helicopter of the police. Do you keep a diary? We used to keep a diary every day at the school, which was one of the assignments we have to meet every day. We have to do every day. We had to do every day. The reservation is made on a first-come basis. The salary is decided on an experience basis. The salary is decided on a length of service basis. The prices differ on a time basis. The fare differs on a length basis, on a distance basis. The fare of the train differs on a distance basis. The fares of the subway differ on a distance basis. I study English on a daily basis. I study English on a daily basis. I exercise on a weekly basis. I exercise on a weekly basis. Is it little or frequent or normal? I try to exercise on a weekly basis. One of my acquaintances go to see a dentist on a 3-month basis. One of my acquaintances go to see a dentist on a 3-month basis. I study English on a daily basis. I take a bath. I take a shower on a daily basis. I take a shower on a daily basis. I take a shower on a daily basis. What do you like to do in your spare time? I wish I were a bird. I would fly to your window to wake you up. I wish I had a wing like a bird. If I were a bird, I would fly to your window every morning to wake you up. I wish I were 2 or 3 years younger. I wish I were as rich as billionaire. I wish I were as rich as billionaire. In any case, I will do my best to make my dreams come true. In any case, I will do my best to make my dreams come true. In any case, I will do my best, and I try to do what I'm interested in, so that I won't regret my life later. In any case, I will try to do everything which is interesting for me, so that I won't regret later in my life. The labor union is negotiating with the employer for pay rates. The labor union is negotiating with the employer for pay rates. Do you know how many countries belong to the European Union? Do you know how many countries belong to the European Union? My father is obstinate enough not to compromise at all. My father is obstinate, stubborn enough not to compromise at all. I've compromised in my life ever. But there are some things I cannot compromise at all. There are some things I cannot compromise at all. Both Company A and Company A did not compromise the plan at all. Both Company A and Company A did not compromise the plan submitted by each other. Both Company A and Company B did not compromise the proposals submitted by each other. The Company A hopes to come to conclusion, reach conclusion. Fruitful conclusion. The CEO of the company came to the conclusion that company picnic should be abolished this year. The CEO of the company came to the conclusion that it should go without bonuses this year. There are some things I cannot compromise at all. I can write programming because I took the course of the programming C. So I can understand programming C to a certain extent, to some degree, to some extent. A certain amount of sugar, a certain amount of sugar. I hope I am a competent person in the society. What is the criteria to be regarded as competent? What are the criteria to be regarded as competent? Am I competent or incompetent? In many companies, both competent and incompetent workers get the same salary, same amount of salary. In many companies, both competent and incompetent workers, salaried workers, get the same amount of salary, which is problemsome. I wish I were as competent as you in terms of everything. I wish I were as competent as you. One of my friends graduated as a mechanic. One of my friends graduated as a mechanic. One of my friends graduated as a mechanic. Engineering jobs are often in great demand. Engineering jobs are often in great demand. Soon after the pandemic, masks and toilet papers were sold out. Engineering jobs are often in great demand. Soon after the pandemic, masks were sold out at everywhere because they were in too much demand. They were in too much demand. Soon after the pandemic, masks were sold out from coast to coast because they were in too much demand. Soon after the pandemic, masks were sold out everywhere because they were in too much demand. If there are too much demand, the prices will go up. So prices are usually taken balanced by the supply and demand. Prices are usually taken balanced by the demands and supplies. What are prioritized when you find a job? What do you give priority to when you find a job? Wages or environment or your interests? What do you give the priority to? What do you give priority to the most when you find a job? Wage, environment, or your interests? One of the ways to be healthy is to have a decent diet. Decent diet. Deviating from the decent way might be the key to achieving breakthrough. Deviating from decent way might be the only way to achieve breakthrough. Deviating from decent way might be the only way to achieve breakthrough, to accomplish breakthrough. I wish I could get decent wages as you. I wish I could get as decent wages as you. I wish I could get as decent wages as you. I would buy such luxuries like you. I wish I could get as decent wages as you. I would buy more things. I wish I could get as decent wages as you. I would buy a car. I wish I were as competent as you. I wish I could get as decent wages as you. I would buy a car. If I were you, I would ask her for a date. I wish I could earn as decent wages as you. I wish I could earn as decent wages as you. What do you prioritize the most? What do you prioritize the most when you find a job? Wages, environment, place, or your interest? What do you give priority to the most in terms of finding a job? What do you give priority to the most? What do you give priority to the most? What do you give the priority to the most when in terms of finding a job? Wages, environment, place, or your interest? I wish I could earn as decent wages as you. Okay, I will finish speaking here. Thank you for watching. See you next time. See you!